all of your favorite recipes. Simply Food.
You should know by now that you're in for a treat.
Simply Food.
There's no other channel where you'd rather be.
Simply Food. Seafood, pasta, cakes, and pies. Sing and laugh and even cry. Like and share and hit subscribe. Simply Food by TY.
What's up, you guys? It's your boy Simply Food by TY, and today I am going to be teaching you guys how to make some soft and chewy lemonade cookies. These cookies are perfect for the spring and summertime, and I cannot wait to share the recipe with you all. So let's get right into it. So the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you guys have a bowl that has pretty high sides, because you're going to be mixing everything by hand. This recipe is extremely easy, so you can do it all with the wooden spoon, honey. So you're going to need 2 sticks of butter, which equals out to 1 cup of butter. And you're just going to give that a good mix until you can get it nice and creamy. If you want, you can do this in a stand mixer, but honestly, this recipe does not require it. Especially if you have the butter already nice and soft. That will make your life a whole heck of a lot easier. And then you guys won't have to stress about overly mixing too hard. Now you're going to add in some sugar. Now we're using white granulated sugar, and you're going to use 2 3/4 of a cup of white granulated sugar. So that's 2 3/4 cup of white granulated sugar. You're going to give that a good old mix until once again that's nice and smooth. And then we're going to go in with the eggs. You guys want to make sure that your eggs are at room temperature as always, because that's just the way baking is. You're going to use 2 large eggs. Please make sure that your eggs are room temperature. That is a key step in these cookies, okay? We're gonna go in with some food coloring. Now, that's completely optional. You do not have to add in the yellow food coloring. I like to do it just because it just makes the cookies pop a little bit more if you add that little boost of yellow. But what I will say, though, is if you start off with really good eggs, especially like non-pasteurized eggs, the yolks are already going to be a bright color, so that's going to enhance it anyway. So don't feel like you have to use the food coloring, because you don't. So now we're going to add in some lemon zest. I'm going to be using the zest of 2 large lemons. You really want to end up with, I would say, 2 tablespoons of lemon zest. I wouldn't do any more than that, but you definitely want to have at least 2 tablespoons worth. Now, because I'm using large lemons here, I'm just going to do the zest of both of those, because that'll equal out to about 2 tablespoons worth. Also, you guys always know, anytime you're going to be zesting your fruit, please make sure you pay extra attention to the fruit that you're picking out, because of course that zest is going to go in your food. So when you're picking out your lemons for recipes and stuff like this, just make sure they're pretty and make sure they're organic. You know, they won't have a lot of stuff on the skin. Now we're just going to give that a quick little mix around, and as you guys can see, this mixture is going to become creamier and creamier the longer it sits. You know, wood retains heat, so the more heat that's applied to this mixture, the more creamier and the smoother that this will be, which will make your life a whole heck of a lot easier in the end. Now we're also, of course, going to be adding in some lemon juice. Now, of course, instead of you getting fresh lemons, use the lemons that you just finished zesting. Use those to get your lemon juice. I used to always zest the lemon and then just throw it away, and I have no idea why I used to do that. It's so foolish. So zest the lemons, use those same lemons to get you some fresh lemon juice. Please do not use bottled lemon juice for this recipe. It will not work, okay? I'm just saying. Now, you're not going to need a lot of lemon juice, so just keep that in mind. You're only going to need 4 tablespoons of lemon juice. So really, you probably only really should need about 2 lemons to really get that amount of juice. And honestly, when you guys are picking out your lemons in the grocery store, just as a little tidbit of advice, make sure your lemons have a little bit of weight to it. The same thing with limes. You know, when you're holding them in your hand, make sure they have a little bit of weight to it, because that's how you'll know if they're going to have a lot of juice in it. If they just seem completely light and empty, don't even waste your time. Just put those back. Give this a vigorous mix around in the bowl. As you can see, this is the reason why I said it's important to have a bowl with high sides, because as you guys can see, I'm pretty much doing all of this in real time. There's not that much editing going on in this video, so this is going by very, very quick, okay? So the next thing we're going to add in is 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and then you're going to add in 2 1/8 teaspoons of salt. And then we're going to start to add in our flour, which is 3 cups of all-purpose flour. Now, you guys, I say this all the time, so you're probably sick of me saying it. But anytime I'm baking, I am always going to be using Bob's Red Mill baking products for the most part. Whether it's all-purpose flour, whether it's almond flour, whatever the case is, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to use Bob's Red Mill flour. Now, if you guys can't find that, use whatever high-quality flour you can find. I say that because, you know, something like this where it's not that many ingredients, you want your flour to be top-notch. You want it to be nice and smooth. You don't want it to be really lumpy and have a bunch of clumps and all of that, because then that's when you have to start overworking your dough, and you end up with tough breads and, you know, dry cookies and dry cakes and all of that, because you're not starting off with good flour. Now, as you guys can see, this came together rather quickly. I did a few, you know, folding actions and then just mixed it around a little bit more, but it doesn't really require that much to really pull this dough together. And what I will say is once you pretty much see that all of the white is gone, stop mixing. Don't just keep mixing just to mix it. You want these cookies to be chewy and soft and light and fluffy. You don't want to activate too much of that gluten. You're going to wrap some cling film on this and put this in the fridge, I would say for about an hour, 2 hours, or you could do this the day before. That's totally fine. But you definitely want this dough to chill, okay? Once it's chilled, go on ahead and have your oven preheated at 350 degrees because we are in the home stretch, honey. Now, in the back, I have the dough, as you can see, the cookie dough, which I'm rolling into balls, and now I'm rolling it in powdered sugar or confectioner sugar, whatever you want to call it, and that's it. You're just going to place it on your baking dish, and I'm going to take my finger and I'm just going to create a little tiny well. Now, this is the thing. You'll get a closer shot of it a little bit later on, but you may or may not be able to tell, but I did not push my finger to the bottom of the cookie, okay? So don't get overzealous when you're putting that little well in it. You're just creating just a little well, and the only reason why I do that is because for me, in my mind, it helps the cookie spread out just a little bit more evenly. So that's the reason why I do it. You absolutely don't have to do that step if you're worried about messing up your cookies. You can leave your cookie completely circle, roll it around in that powdered sugar, and that's totally fine. So now that I've pretty much, you know, I'm getting all of these done, just so you guys know, this recipe will make you close to about 2 dozen worth of cookies. Now, I would not make them any bigger than what you see me doing them as, but you can absolutely make them smaller and make them into cute little petite lemonade cookies, which would be cute for like a brunch or, you know, something like that. But you can definitely get almost about 2 dozen at this particular size. Then, of course, you know, double, if not triple, if you make them smaller. So once again, you have your oven preheated at 350 degrees. I'm going to give you guys a close-up shot so you can see. So as you guys can see here, I didn't press all the way through, just a little tiny well. Put those in the oven at 350 for 12 minutes. Now, when I say 12 minutes, I mean exactly 12 minutes, not a minute more, not a minute less. The cookies are meant to be soft, so you have to gently transfer them over to a wire rack and allow them to cool for about a half hour before you start trying to eat them, okay? These cookies, like I said, once again, they are extremely soft, extremely chewy, and I mean they're just everything. When I tell you these damn cookies are addicting, do you hear me? Now I'm topping it off with a little bit more of the powdered sugar. You can really go heavy with this or go kind of light like I do. I just put a light little dusting, and that's it, you guys. Serve them up and enjoy. Look, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're new to my channel, welcome to Simply Food by TY. If you're one of my returning subscribers, y'all babies know I love y'all so much, and as always, take care. Bye.
Slaying in the kitchen.
Simply Food by TY.
We hope that you enjoyed it.
Simply Food by TY. If you haven't took the time, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching Simply Food. Bye.